Maddie.
Leave is granted.
I thank the honourable member.
I move
the member for
amendments.
Warringah has the call.
I'm sorry. Thank you. I move amendments 1 to 4 as circulated in my name together. These amendments, I think, are important in they seek to incorporate recommendations of the Chubb review into the operation of the carbon credit markets into the biodiversity market, credit market, which will be established by the Nature Repair Market Bill. Can I also firstly thank the Minister for her responses and clarifications to questions just provided, in particular in relation to the timing, essentially, of when the nature repair market will commence trading, and that confirmation that it will not be trading prior to offset standards being established and the EPBC Act amendments occurring, because that is where that reassurance is sought by so many in our communities, including in Warringah. The amendments that I have proposed seek to increase participation into the biodiversity credit market by small landholders and Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander landholders by increasing the level of awareness and education about the scheme. These landholders in particular can generate great dividends for biodiversity in Australia. First Nations people have been great custodians of Australia, our land and our sea, waters, for over 65,000 years. We can and must do everything possible to incentivise their participation in the repair of nature as well. Education about the incentives available through the nature repair market and their ability to participate in that market is the minimum we should be doing to develop their participation in the scheme. Similarly, small landholders are often those who are more willing and able to participate in schemes such as this and can be vital to the development of consistent corridors for migration and rapid restoration of habitat. So these amendments, therefore, are critical to the overall success of biodiversity restoration in Australia. I'd like to thank the Australian Land Conservation Alliance for their engagement and advocacy and advice and their incredible work in conservation in years to date, in fact, doing much of the work that we hope is now going to get supercharged from this nature repair market. I'd also like to thank the Minister for her and her staff for their engagement on this issue and these amendments in particular, and willingness to proactively meet and discuss. It is this place working at its best when government proposes legislation. It can be discussed, debated, amended and improved for the better of all. So since the Samuels Review, I've certainly passionately advocated for strong national environmental standards and amendments to the EPBC Act, so I do look forward, taking on notice the comments of the Minister, to working closely with the Minister over the coming months on the development of lasting reform through the Environment Protection and Biodiversity Conservation Act and towards the establishment of a Nature Finance Corporation, both of which I hope would be key to the ultimate success of this nature repair market. And I do pledge advocacy to getting that push for additional financial support to ensure there is that incentive and that collaboration from public and private finance. And as identified by so many members here and acknowledged by the Minister, the greatest threat to nature and biodiversity is ultimately climate change and global warming. And so I look forward to the further opportunities to improve our response in that respect.
I thank the honourable member for her contribution, and I give the call to the Minister.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker, and I want to thank the member for Warringah for her contribution and for this amendment. We absolutely support the amendment, and it makes a very constructive improvement to the bill as proposed. The amendment will ensure that First Nations people, small businesses and remote communities can directly participate in the nature repair market by firstly clarifying that the functions of the regulator include providing assistance and advice to Aboriginal persons, Torres Strait Islanders, other individuals, small businesses and others. And it also, by empowering the Secretary of the Environment Department to publish information that supports the development of the market, including information about opportunities to participate in the scheme. I want to thank the member for Warringah for the amendment. She mentioned the Australian Land Conservation Alliance as one of the organisations that has been instrumental in doing nature repair without the support of this scheme and who have welcomed the proposed scheme. They are doing excellent work. And the member for Warringah also mentioned in particular that we'd love to see First Nations communities participating in the scheme. I wanted to draw the attention of the House, Mr Deputy Speaker, to the comments of the Northern Land Council on the scheme. The Northern Land Council has welcomed the scheme and the Chair of the Northern Land Council, Dr Samuel Bush-Blanasi, said, and I quote, "Aboriginal people have been caring for country for tens of thousands of years, but so much damage has been done in the last 250 years. This new law will help traditional owners fix it," he said. Traditional owners know their country. Indigenous rangers have also played a key role in using traditional knowledge to manage country through land and sea management across the territory. This new market is good news for traditional owners and rangers, he said. And further, I quote, "Making sure traditional owners agree to projects on Aboriginal land goes without saying. I want to see Aboriginal projects on Aboriginal land being run by Aboriginal people. This is our future." Mr Martin Jard, also from the Northern Land Council, pointed out that the region covered by the Northern Land Council has a vast array of habitats representative of Northern Australia which face major threats like feral animals, weeds, saltwater intrusion into the vast wetland ecosystems. And he said, and I quote, "Without the incentives and interventions available through a nature repair market, there's a high risk these once pristine ecosystems will be further degraded and lost forever. We'll be working hard to promote a suitable area in the Northern Land Council region for a potential pilot site and method development for the nature repair market." That's what Mr Martin Jard said. Can I reassure the member for Warringah once again, this is not a replacement for government investment. We have, in the most recent budget, doubled funding for our national parks, including incredible places like Kakadu that have been really, I have to say, let go in recent years with intrusion of feral animals, intrusion of weeds, declining infrastructure, even for tourism. We've doubled funding for national parks. That comes on top of the $273 million, I have to check the number, more than $200 million that we had previously promised to upgrading the tourism facilities in the park. This is not a replacement for government spending. It is an additional opportunity, in this case for First Nations communities, to draw in investment from businesses, from companies that want to invest in nature, from philanthropists that want to invest in nature. It is a great opportunity for traditional owners to manage their country in the way they want, with additional financial support to do it. Thank you. And I commend the amendment to the House.
I thank the Minister. The question now from the member for Warringah is that the amendment be agreed to. All of that opinion say aye. Those against say no. I think the ayes have it. The question's resolved. And I see the member for Goldstein. I'll give the call to the Honourable